Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Brianna, and if you guys could tell, I'm in a bit of a different setting. So today is going to be an update on my Jeep Grand Cherokee that I purchased 5 months ago to the date. So today that I'm filming is January 17th, and I actually purchased this car on August 17th. So I've owned it, driven it, experienced it for exactly 5 months. I'm just going to be sharing some of my experiences, if I've had any problems, and also because so many of you guys have asked, I am going to be sharing the total price of this car and how much my monthly payment for the car and car insurance is, so you'll just have to keep watching the entire video to hear about that. Okay, so if you are new to my channel, I bought this car in August. This was the first car that I purchased on my own, so big girl things. This is a 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4x2, so I did not get the all-wheel drive. It's the limited trim, which is about mid-level, in the color silver. So I wanted this car forever, and I finally was in the position once I was hired as a teacher and got my first salary job to purchase my first car. Before, I had a 2011 Nissan Altima 2.5S that had probably I think it was 100 and I don't even remember the mileage. It was at least 140,000, 150,000 miles. I got that car in 2015, so that car lasted me, actually 2014, that car lasted me all throughout college and a couple of years after, but it was starting to kind of, I didn't really take care of it. It was getting rough and I really needed to upgrade, so I bought this Jeep after doing months and months and months of research. So it's super important to do your research before purchasing a car or any big purchase at all. And so overall, I love this car so much. I am so happy with my purchase. I love how it drives, how it looks, how it feels, the technology, the features, and everything about this car. So yeah, let me just jump in and kind of just share what it's been like driving this car. So going from always driving sedans to driving a SUV, a mid-sized car, I definitely did hit a lot of curbs in the beginning and kind of had to get used to having a bigger vehicle. So things like taking turns slower and wider, not being able to whip a U-turn as quickly, but after a while, it didn't take too long to get used to the size of the vehicle. The technology in the car makes it so easy. I have a backup camera, parking assist, I have blind spot detection in my mirrors, and so all this technology has definitely made driving this vehicle a lot easier. Let me turn my car on and show you guys some of the different technology, because oh my gosh, before this car, guys, I never even had Bluetooth, I never had a touch screen, so all this technology has been so amazing. I'm sure there's lots of features that I still haven't even got to use yet, but let me turn the car on and show you guys. This vehicle does have push to start, and so all you do is hold the brake down, and I had to scoot my seat back really far to film, but you hold the brake down and push the button. So there's a lot of technology in this car. I absolutely love it. So here from my dashboard, I can see a digital speedometer, also just the regular gas, all that. I can see the exact PSI of all my tires, make sure that everything's good to go. If a tire is low, it will give me a warning and tell me exactly which tire needs to be aired up more. Let me go back up there. I can see my transmission temperature, my oil temperature, oil pressure, just a whole bunch of information here, my battery voltage, which is super useful, and just a whole bunch of things about my vehicle. Next, okay, so fuel, I cannot think of the word. Gas mileage, I actually get a lot better gas mileage than I anticipated. So since I've had this vehicle, I've averaged 20 miles to the gallon, which is pretty good considering this is a V6 SUV. I also, every time I fill up, I reset my trip to keep track of how far I get. I just got gas a couple of days ago, but the furthest that I've made it on a full tank of gas from full to empty was about 515 miles. So I'm super happy and impressed with the gas mileage I get. I do drive a lot. I'm not able to work from home, and so I do have to fill up about every 2 weeks, and that depends on how much gas is. It usually will take me between $40 and $50 to fill up. Of course, that depends on how far you're driving, if you're taking highways, how much gas is, and just a whole bunch of other factors. And so those are the main things that I use on here on my dashboard. And then over here is my touchscreen, and I can control all of my like air, heat, all that stuff from these buttons, and I can also control it from my screen. Oh, I turned the music off. So I do have Apple CarPlay. I do love that. I wish that I had wireless CarPlay because I do have to plug it in to do that, but I can also just connect from Bluetooth. Usually I will connect using CarPlay, so let me plug my phone in and show you guys my typical driving setup. Okay, so just plug my phone in, and this is my normal setup that I like to do, because if I do need to put on GPS, I can see my GPS, I can see if I need to go home, and also music. You can do Apple Maps, Google Maps, you can do Spotify, Apple Music. I like Spotify. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do on here. Oh my gosh, heated seats. So even though I live in Texas, I am still always cold, and so I have a heated steering wheel. I have heated and ventilated seats, which I use every single day, whether it's hot or cold. I usually do that. And I can also control my climate from here. This sunroof slash moonroof I use every single day, and so if it is hot outside and I don't want to use it, or I don't want the sun to be beaming down on my leather seats, I am able to close this shade. But it feels good outside, and maybe it's early in the morning, not too hot, I will usually always have this down. And if it feels good, I will also put the window down. So the only part, put that all the way back, the only part that actually opens is this front panel. The back panel doesn't actually open. So if it feels good outside, I usually will ride with this down. It just feels so great to have my sunroof down, have the windows down. This by far is my favorite feature of the car. I also love that I can just walk up and I have my keys on me, and I just hold the handle and it unlocks, and then to lock it I can just push that. So overall, there is a lot of great things I love about this car. The size of it, so the back seats all do fold down. The trunk is very spacious. There's lots of technology. I love my sunroof. From my keys, I can auto start my car. I can also open the trunk from here, close the trunk, and so I love this car so much. I do just want to talk about one problem that I have experienced. So this car, whenever you have your auto headlights on, there is a feature to turn on auto high beams. If you're ever in like a really dark spot, it's supposed to automatically turn on. So the first couple of months I had this car, I had no problems with that feature. The auto headlights never came on because it detects that there are cars around you and it's not going to flash cars. However, these last couple of months at nighttime when I drive, the auto headlights randomly flash on and off when I'm driving on like a regular street through a neighborhood, and so it's so annoying because it will flash cars randomly, and I don't know if it's an electrical problem, if it's a sensor problem. I do have to contact Jeep and do more research about that, but right now I'm just going to manually turn my headlights on and off. Other than that, that's the only problem that I've had. So now let me just talk about the cost of the car. So in my original car tour video, a lot of you guys in the comments did ask how much did this car cost me, and for the longest time I just don't really ever feel comfortable sharing those numbers and like how much I pay and stuff like that, but I know that a lot of you guys are actually genuinely interested and curious about how much the car cost. So I bought this car in August of 2020. It is a 2019 car. It had very low mileage. When I bought it, it was about 30,000 miles. which is a lot considering it was only 1 year old, but this was used as a dealership rental car. So the fact that it did have a bit more miles for 2019 allowed me to get a better deal on it. It was my first car, I had very good credit, and so whenever you buy a car, there's a lot of different factors that go into it. I can make a video about my experience buying a car, but of course this is my first car I bought and my parents came with me and helped a lot, so I don't have the most expertise on buying a car. But the total amount after titles and taxes and some warranties and just everything that they added up, the total amount when I bought this car that I owed $32,664.36. Yes, that is a lot of money. Let me just say that I definitely could have gotten an older car, a car that had more miles, not an SUV. There's a lot of factors that went into the cost of this car, but I got a 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee in 2020. So yes, that is very expensive. That was the total cost of the car. I believe the listing price was about $28,000. So after adding on taxes, titles, fees, all that stuff, it came out to be about $32,664. Now, your monthly payment depends on your credit score. It just depends on like what company or what bank it goes through, all that stuff. But my monthly payment is, let me look up the exact amount. So when I purchased this car, I did it through the dealership. So I didn't get pre-approved for a loan. I just went into the dealership, knew I wanted this car, and after we were able to work something out, the dealership applied to a couple of different places, and I ended up getting approved for Capital One. I already had a Capital One credit card, so I was able to use the same app and everything was familiar to me. It's a really loud car. So my monthly payments on this car is $526.53. Again, I'm fortunate enough to be able to comfortably afford that. Of course, I definitely could have gotten a more affordable car, but between my salary as a teacher and YouTube, thank you guys, I am able to afford that. So car insurance is also something to consider. I have Progressive and I'm 24 years old. I do have a clean driving record, so no like wrecks or any traffic violations, any of that. And my credit score is, I would say, good. Maybe not excellent, but like in the good category. So when I first bought this car, my car insurance was $115. After that policy ended, it's now $128, which isn't that bad. But when you add up that and also my monthly car payments, it is about $700. Let me add that up. 128 plus 526, $654. So it is about, you know, it's pretty expensive. So again, things to consider. Maintenance. So far I have not gotten any maintenance on it. Whenever I did purchase this car, there was still like a warranty, and I got some type of package where I get 6 free oil changes and a couple of other things, like I think other fluids, so like brake fluids, and a technology package, so like if the sunroof stopped working or the screen or anything like that. Let me just really quickly Google the average cost of an oil change for this car. So the average cost for the oil and labor for a Jeep Grand Cherokee is between $162 and $172. So it's very expensive. Tires are also very expensive. Right now I have pretty good tires, but in a couple of months or eventually I will have to do new tires. So let's see, how much do tires cost for a Grand Cherokee? So it depends on like what trim you have and what type of tires you're getting, but I think on average to get like a full set of tires for this car is probably going to be between $800 to $1,000. So whenever you're purchasing this car, you definitely have to consider car insurance and the cost of maintenance. But overall, I love this car so much. It's so comfortable to ride in. I've driven this car in the rain and snow. Yeah, it snowed in Texas, in the fog, in the heat. So I've definitely got to experience a lot of different driving situations. So that is my Jeep Grand Cherokee update. I know this video was probably all over the place, but if you guys still have any questions, comment down below. I can maybe make another video or just answer you guys in the comments. Overall, I love this car. I will link my car tour down below if you guys want to see specifically like everything about the car, like the back seat, the trunk, the outside, all of that good stuff. But I love this car. I'm so proud of myself for being able to purchase this, and I'm super thankful that my parents went with me to buy this, or else I would have had no clue how to negotiate and get a great deal on this car. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe down below. I post new videos every single week, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all. Okay, one more thing I forgot to add is washing this vehicle is a whole workout in itself. I did go to a car wash and pay people to do it once, but they just did not do it up to my standards. And so washing this vehicle, you will be sweating, you will be tired, you will be out of breath, you have to get on a step stool to reach the top of the sunroof. But I love this car so much. One thing I want to add, kind of like a hopeful wish for the future, my dream car is a Tesla, because I just think that that's the way that we need to go. Jeep. Okay, hear me out. If Jeep in the future made this vehicle electric, which I don't know if that's possible or what would go into that, imagine an electric Jeep Grand Cherokee. Okay, that is my dream car. I'm manifesting that in the future there's going to be a 100% electric Jeep Grand Cherokee. That's my dream car.